Hey guys, it's Cory from Redshirt Engineering, and today we're going to go through a couple of different Hanwha TechWin cameras that we just happen to have on stock. So let's take a look what we got. So to start with, we have a couple of bullet cameras. These are outdoor XNO 8020Rs. Actually, are these? No, these are 8040Rs. So 8040Rs are actually even a little bit better. Let's see what this has. 8040R can do 30 frames a second. It's got a fixed 7mm focal length. So what that means is that this is a longer range camera than the lower model ones. This one's going to take a more narrow view, but that means it'll appear to be zoomed in a little bit more. We've got, well, it's PoE, that's nice, and it's outdoor. So there's not a whole lot to it, that's what it is. It's a 5-megapixel camera, pretty good, with a 7mm lens, which means it's meant to be far away. That's the XNO 8040R. I say far away, farther away than you would normally put a camera. So for example, down here we have, well, these ones, we'll get to these in a second, but we have an XNP, this is a PTZ model. So this one here is a PTZ model. It's an XNP 6120H. Now, these ones are the same camera I actually use in the Redshirt Engineering 1701, and I think it's a great camera, especially for the range that sits in. The camera itself can do, I think it's a 12x? Yeah, it's a 12x optical zoom, and it's still 1080p. So it's a little low on the resolution side compared to some of the other things that you can get out there. But when you're pulling that data from a cellular connection or a wireless connection, you don't want it to need too much constant throughput. The more it's gonna need, the more you're gonna see in degradation and loss and pixelization. So let's see what else we got over here. There was a couple fixed cameras. These are XNVs, 6080s, these guys here, which are still outdoor cameras, they're still pretty good. These are domes, you can see here, they're fixed domes, so these ones we have to manually set whenever we are installing them, where they're gonna be looking at. And what do we have in this one? This is an 8080R, okay. So the 8080R is another 5-megapixel camera, and the focal length is not listed, interestingly enough, but the PoE is listed, so it is PoE capable. I am curious about the focal length of the lens, because that's what tells you how much view distance it gets, and it does not list that on the front of this. But it is a 5-megapixel camera, so this one's going to give you quite a lot of view. Alright, put that guy down. Got anything else in here? Yeah, we got the big boys. Got a couple big boys over here. These ones are the medium big boys. I say they're big boys because they're physically much larger than the others. These ones are, what are they? I wish I could open this one for you, but unfortunately this one's not ready to be opened yet. This is an XNP 6320 here. You can see that. That's another PTZ model. And it's a Hanwha TechWin, WiseNet there. And it actually does look quite a lot like that. I think I have some of these that were retired in the garage so you can see what they look like in physical size. They're about the size of a person's head. Here's one here. This one's dead, but that's because there was a power surge and broke it, I think. Yeah. That label did not say what went wrong with it, but it's in our removed pile, so it must have been removed from a pole for being malfunctioning. Alright, so over here we have their current flagship model. This one arrived DOA and they sent us a new one, so we have to send this back. But for a quick sneak preview, oh, it's so nice. Look at that, it's bigger than my head. It's physically bigger than my head. Quite heavy too, actually. But it's got these little knobs down here at the bottom. Those are IR lenses, so this can do some significantly long range infrared. I think 1,600 feet. That's crazy, right? So that's and then the top of this, we actually don't have the lid on it right now. The lid part, with the pendant mount would push down on this and twist, and then there's 3 screws that hold it. The pendant mount has threads on it. I'll show you the pendant in a second. And this clips to it with an aircraft cable as a backup for the... Oh yeah, you want to know. This is an XNP 6550 RH. Can you see that there? Maybe. But yeah, this camera is pretty crazy. It can do 55 times optical zoom. How crazy is that, right? So we put 4 of these up on a skyscraper and it can zoom in and see people at night on like the other side of town. It's crazy. So something to look into are those really big ones. If you have the budget for it, they're pretty expensive right now, several $1,000s per camera. But if you're looking for something for your house, like for a residential thing, none of this stuff, well, maybe these guys, the little ones, the Wisenet X Series 8080Rs, these might be good options for outside your house, or even the larger ones that I showed you first, these guys, or these are the 8040Rs, the XNOs. These would also be pretty good for at your house, but for a house, I don't recommend a PTZ, because you'll get more value out of even a fisheye lens at your house. Which means these big guys are out too. Sorry to say, those big guys are not going to be going in someone's house. Those are for like street light poles or the corners of large buildings or even like apartment buildings, parking lots, stuff like that. Because those things have some pretty gnarly zoom on them. I think those have a 34 times optical zoom, or 36 in the 30s. I think it's 34 though. But yeah, that's man. That one camera, man, it's so good. I can't wait to get another one to play with it some more. So anyway, yeah, if you're doing stuff at your house though, while those are great options, and I would recommend them to people, a lot of people are gonna look at those and say they're just too expensive, Corey. And I'll say, hey, you know, I get it. If you're on a budget, you gotta get a little bit cheaper than what those guys are. So there's 2 options that I'd recommend. The starter option is going to be your Wisecam V2s, and I've been doing a lot of videos about them because I've been testing them extensively, and I've been pretty impressed. They are what you pay for. So you're paying $34 a camera with an SD card. That's what you're getting. So, you know, expect that there's a possibility of failure someday, but I haven't run into it yet. I've had to reboot the camera once, one of them. I have 4. I had to reboot one camera once, and the SD card had to be reseated. So, yeah, the reliability's been pretty good so far for being a $35 camera, you know? But that's number 1. Number 2 is going to be Hikvision. Now, I have a Hikvision up right now. It's an outdoor one. That model's $95 plus, I think, $20 for the power supply. And but we have it up doing a live stream on our website, redshirtengineering.com, and right at the top it has live demo, or you can just do redshirtengineering.com/live-demo. Yeah. That's not complicated at all, right? Just redshirtengineering.com and then click the live demo link and it'll take you there. And you can see what a 4K, or sorry, not 4K, a 4 megapixel camera. I have to go look now. It's either 4 or 5 megapixel. I think it's a 4 megapixel camera. And it runs $95 on Amazon. With, you know, free shipping and all that. 2-day shipping. The Prime. Gotta love that Prime, right? So we got this box here still for that IR mini camera that I was talking about, the $95 one on Amazon's. And this one, I'll give you the model number here if you can see it. Yeah, it's a DS-2CD2042WD-I. Now this is a 4mm lens on it, which is getting close to a fisheye, but it's like the base lens for a PTZ. Yeah. Also PoE, but keep in mind, this is made in China. So is the Wisecam. So Hikvision specifically though, you cannot sell that to government. Keep that in mind. There's an executive order that says you can't, but you can use it for home. That's totally fine. That's what I do. So, all right, guys, nice little chat with Cory from Red Shirt Engineering, and y'all have a good one.